we gotta try to victimize. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know, we gotta try.
So why we allow this administration to erode our democracy? This is a democratic society, and therefore every creed and race must find an equal place.
Yeah, victimize. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know, we gotta try to victimize. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know, we gotta try.
So I am calling on every youth, I am calling on every citizen. Let us unite and save Trinidad and Tobago. For far too long we have been exploited. For far too long we have been neglected. The time has come where we must stand united in order to save our country. Yes, my brothers and my sisters.
Yeah, victimize. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know, we gotta try to victimize. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know, we gotta try.
And let us fight to defend our democracy in this country. Let us stand together.
Yeah. We cry from together. And the way on them, like they don't care about somebody now. Victimize. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know, we gotta try to victimize. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know, we gotta try.
So why we allow this administration to erode our democracy? This is a democratic society, and therefore every creed and race must find an equal place.
Yeah, victimize. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know, we gotta try to victimize. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know, we gotta try.
So I am calling on every youth, I am calling on every citizen. Let us unite and save Trinidad and Tobago. For far too long we have been exploited. For far too long we have been neglected. The time has come where we must stand united in order to save our country. Yes, my brothers and my sisters.
Yeah, victimize. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know, we gotta try to victimize. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know, we gotta try.
And let us fight to defend our democracy in this country. Let us stand together.
Yeah. We cry from together. And the way on them, like they don't care about somebody now. Victimize. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know, we gotta try to victimize. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know, we gotta try.
So why we allow this administration to erode our democracy? This is a democratic society, and therefore every creed and race must find an equal place.
Yeah, victimize. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know, we gotta try to victimize. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. we gotta try.
So I am calling on every youth. I am calling on every citizen. Let us unite and save Trinidad and Tobago. For far too long we have been exploited. For far too long we have been neglected. The time has come where we must stand united in order to save our country. Yes, my brothers and my sisters.
Yeah, Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try.
And let us fight to defend our democracy in this country. Let us stand together.
Yeah. The cry from the ghetto. And the way on them like they don't care about somebody now. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try.
So why we allow this administration to erode our democracy? This is a democratic society, and therefore every creed and race must find an equal place.
Yeah, Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try.
So I am calling on every youth. I am calling on every citizen. Let us unite and save Trinidad and Tobago. For far too long we have been exploited. For far too long we have been neglected. The time has come where we must stand united in order to save our country. Yes, my brothers and my sisters.
Yeah, Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try.
And let us fight to defend our democracy in this country. Let us stand together.
Yeah. The cry from the ghetto. And the way on them like they don't care about somebody now. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try.
So why we allow this administration to erode our democracy? This is a democratic society, and therefore every creed and race must find an equal place.
Yeah, Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try. Victor vibes. Yeah. The cry from the ghetto. And the way on them like they don't care about somebody now. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try.
Blessing, good afternoon to each and everyone. Good Sunday afternoon. Welcome to Facts Not Fiction. Of course, today being Sunday is as good as any other Sunday. It's a day that we will continue to bring the facts, the information to you, to enlighten you and to allow you to understand that there is a role for you to play. We want to welcome, first of all, our listeners, those of you who tune in every time on all the programs that comes out of Atlantic Computers and Supply. We want to remind you to feel free to drop in by Atlantic Studio. We have everything there for you. All your hardware, software, everything for your computers is here. I want to welcome each and every one of us, each and every one of you listeners, those locally, regionally, and internationally. Pleasant good day. Ladies and gentlemen, as we begin our discourse this afternoon, I want to first ask you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, a few questions. And I want you to ponder upon these questions. I want these questions to resonate within your mind so that you can really understand what is your role in our society. And my first question to you, ladies and gentlemen, is that I want to ask you if Trinidad and Tobago, if it's a 7-day wonder. If this country is a 7-day wonder. If when something occurs in this country, if we speak about it, we highlight it for 7 days. And after 7 days, that is the end. That is my first question to you. My second question, ladies and gentlemen, is it that we have in this country become so brainwashed that we no longer see what is right, we no longer stand for what is right, we no longer speak out for what is right? My third question, ladies and gentlemen, is it that this country have become so racially divided so that when one party in power, we will speak out against the ills of that party. But when another party in power, who do 10 times fall than the other party, because of our racial persuasion, is it that we allow those things to continue without standing our ground? Or is it we have become so unpatriotic that it matters not how the country, how the people, how our land is destroyed? Or is it, ladies and gentlemen, that we have become so docile that it matters not what takes place within our society? Those are the questions that I would like you to contemplate over as we discuss today. But the most important question that I want to ask you here this afternoon is Trinidad and Tobago. Is Trinidad and Tobago, has it now become Keith Rowley TNT? Is this country now Keith Rowley TNT? That is what I want to ask you today. Because, ladies and gentlemen, when we look over the past 6 years, when we look at the policies that Keith Rowley have implemented upon us, and the way we behave, it seems as though that this country is Keith Rowley TNT. When we look at the breaches within the highest law of the land, which is our Constitution, and the way we react, the way we behave, when these serious breaches of our constitutional rights by Keith Rowley, it seems as though that this country has now becomes Keith Rowley TNT.
Let us stand together.
When we look, ladies and gentlemen, when we look at the pieces of legislation that the government brought to our country and passed with a simple majority, it seems as though this country has become Keith Rowley TNT. When we look, ladies and gentlemen, in relation to the interfere and interface in all our independent institutions, the way we react, it seems as though that this country has become Keith Rowley TNT. Ladies and gentlemen, what is wrong with us? What is wrong with our mindset? What is wrong with our thought pattern? What is wrong with the education that we have received over the years? What about the values that we were taught? What about the moral and spiritual values that were instilled in us as children? Now that we have become adults, what is happening with our country? What is happening with our society? We no longer stand for what is right in this country. We no longer rebuke what is wrong in this country. I think Keith Rowley TNT could not have put it better when he said that we live in an era where truth no longer matters. I believe that gentleman could not have stated better. Because you, as the citizens of this country, You are the ones with the power, with the authority to dictate what governs us, to dictate what we must stand for, to dictate what is good governance, to dictate what, ladies and gentlemen, is wrong. Is it that you have become so brainwashed? Is it because of race that you are now accepting what you would not have accepted under the UNC? Is it because of the color of your skin that you would allow what is taking place today in our society? Oh, this wretched society that we now live in, a place that we were once proud to be a part of, a place that was recognized throughout the universe as a country with love and passion and caring and wealth and equity. We have now degenerated into a society of mass corruption, of lies, of dishonesty, of nepotism, of cronyism, of dictatorial behavior. And yet, within all of this in our society, as a people, we will stand and say nothing. I am saying, ladies and gentlemen, that the gods will be against us. That every aspect of humanity would be against us if we don't stand and defend and stand up for what is right, stand for the truth, stand in this country for spiritual and moral values, a principle that we were brought up in. Today, my people, you have allowed a government to mismanage, to abuse its power, to degenerate the economy, to bring you at a stage where you must depend on a handout to survive. They have destroyed your values. No longer your men could stand up as fathers proud to mind their children. No longer your mothers could stand as proud moms preparing the household for their husband to go out to a job because of a government that you have allowed to bring you into this wretched condition. You as people, you as humans, you as citizens, what is wrong with you people? What is wrong with your mind? How come could you, as a people, allow this behavior? A prime minister who is the most disrespectful, the most uncaring individual in our land. A prime minister who leads you by the whip, who bring you back to the days of the shackles, that you have to do as master say, and if you refuse, there is a penalty. And if you don't believe me, ladies and gentlemen, you could ask the former commissioner of police. I saw on the papers today, as I browsed through, I saw the prime minister on page 5 of the Guardian And so they emphasize what and why the Prime Minister said that he lost confidence in Gary Griffith. And the Prime Minister lost confidence in Gary Griffith simply because Gary Griffith had taken the position that the police service is an independent entity, and therefore the police service must be guided and they must function according to the Constitution. When I look at the letter that the Prime Minister sent to Blissy Prasad, who pointed out to Gary Griffith what the offenses of the Prime Minister, pen to paper, were, I understand for a fact that the Prime Minister feels that he is the judge and the executioner of Trinidad and Tobago. And yet when Gary put out in relation to pen and paper that the Prime Minister was advocating that Gary Griffith breached the Constitution simply because of a pool party on private soil. The Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, when you saw what the Prime Minister is saying, the reason why he loses confidence in Gary Griffith, you will understand that the Prime Minister believes that he is the boss of this country. Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen, because of the Prime Minister behavior, we look at Gary Griffith's response to the Prime Minister. But I always say that every action will cause a reaction. And when you look at the response to Gary Griffith, when you look at what the Prime Minister was basically ordering Gary Griffith to do, I want to say today, I thank Gary Griffith for standing in defense of the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago, something that you people refuse to do in this country. The Prime Minister should have first lost confidence within himself. What the Prime Minister believes, that this country is Keith Rowley TNT. This country is Trinidad and Tobago, and it belongs to every citizen in this country. This is not Keith Rowley Palace. You elect Keith Rowley. You put him in an office to do a job. He swear by the Bible to uphold the Constitution and to bear true faith and allegiance to our country. He swear to defend the same thing that he now breached. He swear to defend the same thing that he wanted Gary Griffith to break. And you people in this country, you sit down, you watch. Some of you, because of your own personal problem with Gary Griffith. Some of you, because you are the Prime Minister stooge. Some of you, because you are gaining wealth from this government. Some of you, because you are deceitful.
Far too long we have been neglected.
Some of you, ladies and gentlemen, sit in this country and watch this government abuse and break and frustrate the Constitution, and you sit by and you say nothing, you do nothing. Some of you
Let us stand together.
could only be labeled as good for nothing. Some of you sit with your fancy robes, with your red, white, and black drapes on both sides of your shoulder, and you sit in the high place that they call the judiciary.
So why we
You sit with all your fancy garment and collect your fancy salary, but you are unpatriotic to this country.
and therefore
Some of you allow yourselves
find an equal place.
to be manipulated by the political directorate simply because some of you are looking for position. Some of you judges, you are shuffled around to fulfill the bid of the Prime Minister of this country.
Let us unite
Some of you are transferred
for far too long.
to deal with matters
For far too long.
simply because of your political persuasions.
United in order to save our
And
country.
that is what we call democracy. Some of you, ladies and gentlemen, who sit to the top circle of the judiciary, looking for a position of Chief Justice somewhere along the line.
Defend our democracy.
You have refused to stand up for the same thing that appoints you and make you and puts you in the position that you now hold. You have refused to stand and defend the Constitution. But you're dressed up in your fine linen and you're fare sumptuously eating every day, filling your mouth with the best food and the best drink of the taxpayer, and yet you will not stand and defend the taxpayer when you see a breach in our Constitution.
Let's stand together.
Is this the proud judiciary that we have in this country? There are those in high places within the judiciary who the law association, bring allegations to remove certain hierarchy within the judiciary.
Erode our democracy.
Keith Rowley,
This is a democratic.
who had and have the power
Therefore, every
to initiate a tribunal,
an equal place.
refuse sending, interfering, staining the judiciary with a political stamp. And some of you men and women within the judiciary, you have no class, you have no value whatsoever, that you will not stand up and defend the same law that you are called to interpret as time goes along.
Save our country.
The same law, ladies and gentlemen, that the judiciary will interpret, they themselves have not the fortitude to stand and defend the same thing that they will have to interpret in order for this country to get along.
To defend our democracy in this country.
Oh, judiciary. Oh, judiciary. Where are your principles? Where are your stand, oh judiciary? You as the judiciary, you have sentenced people to death in this country. You have incarcerated people for 20 and 30 years in our land. You is who the people of this country look up to be pure, to be unpolitical, to be just, to pronounce on a man's life. That is the power of you, the people in the judiciary. And when we believe that you, who have passed on death sentence, and people executed according to your sentence, we expect you to have the highest standard of morality, the highest standard of integrity, the highest standard in this country, but you have deceived us. You are seeing all that is happening, and you have nothing to say. How will you sleep at night? How you sleep, ladies and gentlemen of the judiciary? How you rest, how you close your eyes, how you kneel and pray to the Creator if you pray? How do you sing praises to the Creator if you sing praises to Him? How do you cast judgment on us, the citizen, when you are not defending the thing that gives you the power to judge us? The thing that gives you the authority to condemn us, to put us in prison, to take our life. How come you are not defending the thing that gives you the power to do that? How you sleep at night, I wonder. I wonder if you have nightmares when you sleep, members of the judiciary, when you refuse to stand up and defend our Constitution. I could only wonder. Ladies and gentlemen, the Law Association, who bring allegations against the Chief Justice, the Law Association who always vocal when the UNC was in power, the Law Association who we look up to, those who proclaim to be constitutional lawyers, those who have used and utilized loopholes within the Constitution to put money in their pockets. The Law Association of this country, we pick from amongst you. We pick pick from amongst you. We appoint some of you judges. We appoint some of you magistrates. We appoint you to adjudicate on person's life also. And yet, within the breaches of this constitutional crisis, you as the law association, apart from a selective 2 or 3, the rest of you dumb? Is it because you are getting butter from the butter dish? Is it because you are licking the butter that the government prepared for you? I want to remind you, Law Association, that there is a chutney which state that the cat lick the butter and Budlal watching. Don't feel nobody ain't gonna see, boy, and don't feel nobody ain't gonna know. We the citizens of this country, we are Budlal. So while you licking the butter, we watching. That is how wicked, that is how dangerous, that is how selfish some of you lawyers really are. So because you can get briefs from the Attorney General office, because you are swimming with brief from the Prime Minister office, because you are bathing with briefs for millions of dollars, you, Law Association, you rather sell out. You rather Trinidad and Tobago. You rather the Constitution be trampled upon simply because you collecting millions. You see the dangers with the love of money, my dear friends in the Law Association, is the root of all evil. And while you enjoy that money today, karma is something that will always appear before you. Some of you who enjoying that money would not be able to protect your health simply because you refuse to protect the Constitution, the same thing that makes you a lawyer, the same thing that gives you the authority to come to the bar, the same thing that put money in your pocket, because you have no love for the Constitution, because you have not defended the Constitution. A day is coming that that money will mean absolutely nothing to you. You know why? Because while we as the citizens, while we are like Budlal and we watching, there's a greater force who does act upon injustice. There's a greater force that will smite you because you have not stood up and defend the same thing that you swear to stand up and to defend. There is a greater force that will smite you, or very well smite your family. A greater force. You are the ones that the power of law flows within your bloodstreams. You are the ones who are able to articulate through the laws to point out when a government is in breach of the Constitution. But you sit idly by while you enjoy the wealth of this country and you say absolutely nothing. What a set, a bunch of wicked attorneys some of you are, who rejoice in money and will not stand up to defend this country. And all you're in only wicked, you know. All you're evil. You know why? What makes it evil is that you were the same bunch of hypocrites that was speaking out in 2010 and 2015, moving and perpetrating the lies of the then opposition leader, Keith Rowley, on every forum. Y'all have called numerous press conferences to speak out between 2010 and 2015. But now, all your quiet, all your silence is deafening. The silence of the Law Association is hurting the ears of the public. That is how wicked some of you in the Law Association. But nevertheless, time longer than twine. You, Trinidad and Tobago, you, the citizens, I deal with the judiciary, I get the Law Association this share. But you, the church leaders, all you feel a little escape the wrath and the judgment of God. You church leaders who parade the streets between 2010 and 2010 and 15, sorry. Parade the streets between 10 and 15. Calling Kamala must go. Calling out, bawling out. Archbishop this, Archbishop that. Pastor this, pastor that. Priest this, priest that. Evangelist this, evangelist that. Speaking and calling on the name of God to save this country. Influencing your flock. Mobilizing against the UNC. Out of false, misleading, and untruth allegations. Allegations that cannot be proven up to today. Allegations why Keith Rowley is looking for a commissioner of police to suit him. A commissioner of police who will act on the advice of the Prime Minister, a commissioner of police who will be influenced politically to arrest members of the UNC to satisfy the whims and fancy and the lies of the Prime Minister of this country. You church leaders, some of you more wicked than the judiciary and the law association. Some of all you is more wicked, deceitful, and is a bunch of hypocrites. Some of you, not all of you, some of you, those who are speaking out between 10 and 15, 2010 and 15, those who have since gone silent because of a grant, a financial grant, a money grant, a dollars grant, a dinero grant, pesos grant. They gone quiet because of a grant. They have nothing to say because of a grant. Cat eat the tongue because of a grant. Rat bite the mouth because of a grant. Dog lick the tongue because of a grant. Some of you wicked, evil, so-called church leaders. Yes, Victor Roberts saying that. The same crap who was speaking out back in between 2010 and 2015. All your dumb, all your working Bermudas is only domino all you eating. All you can't talk. All you can't talk because your mouth full of grant. All you can't talk because your mouth full of money. All you can't talk because no longer all you see the scriptures, all you see in dollars and cents. That is why all you cannot speak. This government, this administration continue to destroy this country, and all you're dumb. And some of you so wicked. All you get grant, all you get pesos, dollars, all you get everything from Keith Rowley, and some of us so wicked, the members in all the church who cannot even provide food for themselves, some of you still passing the collection basket. Wicked people. Wicked people. I don't attack the church, but I will attack the leaders who want to play politics under the UNC and then play saint under the PNM. All these devils. Under the UNC, all these politicians. But under the PNM, all these saint. Some of you saint 100,000, saint 50,000, saint 300,000, saint 500,000. That is the saint. All you is under the PNM simply because dollars running. All you could pray in the night. All you could pray in the night. All you could sing praises in the night. Under the UNC, all is politician. Under the PNM, all is saint. Let me tell you something. The devil won't forget all you. You know why? You as the leaders, some of the spiritual leaders, you know that the scriptures tell you that the same government that you talking about today, you have the authority to appoint them through the Creator, and you have the authority to remove them. Let me explain what I mean, because I know some of you who bright go say the scriptures say that all government is appointed by God. Yes. But let me tell you something. You as the spokesman for God on the earth, Let me tell you where's your job. Your job, Mr. Preacher Man, who was politician in 2010 and 15. Your job is to speak out against the evil of any government. It matters not if it's the UNC or the PNM. Your job is to speak out against evil. But you know what? All you Judas, for the 30 pieces of silver, all you will not speak out against the evil of Keith Rowley government. And let me tell you something. Some of you is racist in the church too, you know. Some of you is racist. Let me share this with all you. This is facts, not fiction, you know. When you come here, you get facts, not fiction. Let me share this with all you. 2020 election in Library. Walking through the streets, every crack and cranny. Bunks up some sisters that goes to the church where I graduate as a student in theology. When them people who walk with me see them, and they start about good evening, I said, oh, yo. I'll check the next house. Leave this house for me. You know why? I seen some of the sisters in Library. Yeah, I want to make it plain. In Library, I see some. I say them is my people. You know what them sisters tell me? When I go and I tell them sisters I want to ask for the support. You know what them sisters tell me, Mr. Man? They say, oh, Brother Victor, we will support you. But not with them people. Not with that kind. We don't support that. You hear what I'm saying? Take that in the pipe and smoke it, because it's truth, it is facts, and it is not fiction. They don't support that kind, meaning the Indian people. But you know what? Sunday morning, they're hugging up everybody. Oh, Sister Indra. Oh, Sister Injani. Oh, Sister whatever. But when come to election, they're not supporting that kind. So all you can fool Victor Roberts. When all in a sudden, all you get dumb under Keith Rowley. All you get dumb because of that big figure. That all you get. All you gone red. If all you could possibly help it, all you tell all your members, don't come to church without nothing red. But while all you living nice, while all your leaders driving the best car, while some of your leaders drinking scotch and eating shrimps, while some of you drinking the best wine, all your members had nothing to eat, and all you so wicked, all you wouldn't go in the bank account and help them. But all you was politician between 2010 and 2015. I want all you to be politician now. All I want you church leaders to do is to come out and speak the truth. Nothing else. Speak the truth. Nothing else. And that is reality. So let me move on. You businessmen, chambers of commerce, South Chamber, North Chamber, East Chamber, West Chamber, Central Chamber, Chamber. Some of you wicked, just like the aforementioned groups. Wicked. I hear all you in 2010 to 15. All you crying. Things hard. Inflation high. We can't do this and we can't do that. We want that change. We need it now. Now all you get the change. Now all you get the change from the dollar, all you can't spend it. All you get the change, all you can't spend it. All your business crash. All you have no US money, no Forex. All you can't import. All you had to pay black market for US on the outside, $9 and $10. I saw you have some to sell only for $15. All about all you had to hustle black market. You know I ain't all you. All no, all you can't, all your business crash. I ain't all you. All you can't pay all your bills. I ain't all you. All the breaches of the Constitution, I ain't all you. All the legislation that they bring with simple majority that requires 2/3, I ain't all you. You know why? You know why? Who in shame? Fred Rowley. Who in shame? Fred Rowley. All you like a bunch of idiots. All you can't talk. All you have no voice. All you ain't standing up for nothing. I want to see all you who was making noise in between 10 and 15. I want to see all you riding, going down the road with wheelchair now. Because it seems as though all you have no foot to stand up on. So better let's sit down in a wheelchair and push all yourself all over Trinidad and Tobago. All your wicked chambers of commerce. All you dumb. All you have nothing to say. How much all you stand up and say get rid of Rowley? How much all you stand up and say pay them to go? How much all you saying we can't live no more under these conditions? All you dumb and quiet. Dumb and quiet. You know it had 3 Ds? The 3 Ds is dumb. That is number 1. Deaf is number 2. And dotish. That is some of the chambers of commerce. All you dumb, deaf, and dotish. All you have nothing to say now. No protest from all you. No noise from all you. This country could run aground. All you have nothing to say. What's happening in this country? All you can't see all the way. All you can't survive. All you feel because all you in the center of the pond, or they in safe waters. Let me tell you something. A pond that's dry from the end. And the small businesses was at the end of the pond. And the pond dry up, so them crash. But the water closing in. The pond drying. While you feel you in deep, safe waters, very soon the pond going to dry under your feet. And then it will be too late for you to stand up and say or do anything. The time to stand up and say is now, chambers of commerce. The business sector, now is the time that you have to stand and talk. Now is the time that you have to call for the change of government. While you still have water, very soon the pond will dry and you will have nothing to swim in. I'm taking a quick break. I'm taking a short break. I'm coming back. Don't go nowhere. Welcome back. So, chambers of commerce, now is your time to talk. Don't sit down there like you're dumb. The pond is drying right now. In 2010 and 2015, you had to put on life jacket because the water was so safe around you. You was high up. You know what happening to you now? Your life jacket off. Check your bank account. Check your business account. Your life jacket off. It drying up. It drying up. You feel safe zone go help you. It drying up. Very soon you will have nothing. Your foot will all get dry and scaly. Black. Nothing to wash it. That is what this government doing to you while you playing dumb, deaf, and dotish. That is what they're doing to you. So you sit down there as the chambers of commerce and the business sector. You sit down there and you have nothing to say. All is hunky-dory. Everything nice. Right? You sit down there and feel that Rowley will bring money and put you to float again. You stay right there and then say nothing. Let me move on. You the people of the country. This is a sad part. It has hurt my heart sometimes to say it. But this program is about truth. This program is about facts. We on this side don't have time to lie on them on that side. It's facts and more facts. I want to ask you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, who was making all kind of noise and dancing all kind of dance. How the dancers go? I think the dancers go something so. Left foot, body say. Right foot, body say. Left foot, body say. Right foot, body say. And then they just started to go down and shake up like they're catching fits. It's fits that be catching, you know. Fits, all that dance where you see this big belly idiot on the ground and he's shaking, so it's fits, you know. You know why he catching fits? When he's shaking his head, he trying to catch his sense to come out at that dotishness, you know. But the balize juice, how he belly so big that here what happened with he? He ain't seeing nothing. When he shake up, so it's more the juice come up and go to your brain. So he could shake like a pack of idiot. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. You who was making noise in 2010 and 2015, you know I realize that all you get quiet. All you get quiet. All you in quiet because all you don't want to make noise, you know. All you quiet because you're hungry. All you quiet because all you don't have voice. All you quiet because you can't talk. All you quiet because you can't pay all your bill. All you quiet because you don't have food. All you quiet because your children don't have device. All you quiet because you don't have no internet. All you quiet because the PNM quiet all you. Saturday gone. Saturday gone, I had to go in a meeting. My sister-in-law gave out $40 a lunch. She, my little son, Omar, and she husband. You know what happened? They vex. They give out $40 a lunch. And they vex. You know what they vex for? They vex because it wasn't enough. They vex because it wasn't enough. Omar, what was the menu? Talk in here. Pilau. It had any cold store salad on the side? It had any meat? No meat. So that nice pilau with cold store and salad on the side. Because let me tell you something. These days when we're giving out food, we can't afford to buy meat to feed everybody, you know. We can't afford to buy chicken to feed everybody. But they vexed because the $40 wasn't enough. This is reality. This is reality, ladies and gentlemen. How many of you that listening to me here this afternoon, this Sunday evening, how many of you listening to me that don't know where the next meal coming from? How many are you who talking to me, who listening to me this evening and talking to me through text? How many of you couldn't afford what is traditionally called a Sunday lunch? How many of you, ladies and gentlemen, eating one meal for the day? How many of you, ladies and gentlemen, don't have money to send your children to school tomorrow morning? How many of you cannot pay your light bill? How many of you cannot pay your internet bill? When last you buy a new sneakers? When last you buy a new dress or pants? When last you go by a nice store and look for some undergarments? How much clothes you wearing with hole in it? And you had to help tear it up to make it look like a style. How much shoes have hole underneath? And you put in cardboard so your foot won't get wet. How many of you, ladies and gentlemen, could afford a grocery when the week come or when the fortnight come? How many of you could provide the nutrients for your children to eat in order for their brain to develop, to ascertain your secular education? How many of you, ladies and gentlemen, could afford, as a result of the high prices in this country? How many of you who used to buy a nip of flour now have to buy 3 pounds of flour when the week come? You are under tremendous pressure. I'm not asking you, I'm talking to you. I ain't talking to the 30% of them upstairs there, I talking for you, the 29 come down, who's suffering, literally suffering to make ends meet. You who are in the majority and cannot provide sustenance. You, ladies and gentlemen, who's sitting and doing nothing about what is going on in this country. You who sits there knowing that your children have no future under this government and you sit there idly by. You, ladies and gentlemen, who depend on a pension to take care of your family. Don't you know that when you die, that pension cut? You who feel comfortable providing out of your pension for your children or grandchildren, don't you know that upon your death, that is the end of your pension? My question to you is, how would your loved ones survive when you are gone? You who depend on a hamper in a red bag, signifying that you are eating because of the PNM. A hamper that signifies that if you don't support red, you don't eat. And I could prove it. This is facts, not fiction. In Labre, Palo Seco, there are those who the PNM place an imaginary X, classing them as UNC supporters, and they cannot eat. That hamper is taxpayers' money. That is not TNT, Rowley TNT. That is taxpayers' money. That is UNC tax. That is PNM tax. And that is in between people who don't vote tax. That provide them hamper, and yet they treat you like a dog. In order for you to get a hamper, you have to kneel and beg. I spoke to a man by the supermarket this morning. He said, Victor, as soon as you could drop something for me, I went by them people to get a hamper. I had to kneel long and cry. To get a hamper for my children. He have to go on his knees. He remind me of those in Lake Asphalt who were kneeling and begging Rowley for the salary, who was calling on the name of God to help them, to soften the heart of the Dwen, to give them the salary. All you remember that? This man had to go on his knees to beg for a hamper to give his family, a hamper where the taxpayers of this country provide. We have seen in Tobago a mass distribution of food cards. And Robert show you the man boasting when he get food card, he just get in a bulk. The man share a food card without any form of paperwork. Share a food where any form of corruption could take place, but that is nothing new to the PNM. That is nothing new. We make that as some big thing, but that is nothing new. And when you tune in to the Monday night forum tomorrow, all you will realize that what I say with food card and how they give in food card, it ain't nothing new. You hear what I'm saying? It ain't nothing new. So my point I'm making, ladies and gentlemen, is that we under pressure. All you have nothing in this country, and yet all you don't want to speak out. You don't know the hamper go done just now. You don't know that hamper distribution will come to an end just now. You ain't understanding that this government have not bring any policies to generate the economy or to stimulate the economy where the economy will be able to sustain itself. All you ain't understanding what happening in this country yet, you know. All you playing dumb, deaf and dotish too. This government don't care about you. If you doesn't align yourself with Keith Rowley, you have nothing to get. Watch Keith Rowley partners in Tobago. Watch Newman George, the Warner people, the Speaker people, all the partner, everybody living nice. $1 million apartment, who get 500 off, who giving the partner contract and collecting a benefit because they are part of a company. All they ain't understanding what's going on yet. These people borrowing money to thief. These people borrowing money to thief your money, and you sit down and doing nothing. You ain't realizing there's only one set of people benefiting in this country. It is the Alwaris, the Youngs, the Rowleys, the Warners, the Husseins, the Sinanans. Them is who benefiting. The Regis. Them is who benefiting. Well, porting the dog bongsa, well, I'm sorry for you. These days I realize like he dread and all stranding out, like he can't even put the necessary gel to have it how it does me. All you realize is only one set of people benefiting. All you can provide food for your family. But yet still all you sit down there and then say nothing. The people's revolution. The people's revolution. Today, ladies and gentlemen, the people's revolution. It is calling you. It is calling you to action. The people's revolution. It is calling you to stand in defense of yourself. The people's revolution, it is calling you to stand in defense of your country. The people's revolution, it is calling you to stand in defense of your children. It is calling you to stand in defense of your grandchildren. It is calling you to stand up once and for all for good governance in this country. The people's revolution will assemble on the 12th of December in the water park in Derby. And the revolution is calling you to stand in defense of democracy. Listen, ladies and gentlemen. There is also the people's pushback. The people pushback is a people's thing. And this pushback is also calling you to push back on the 30th of November at 10 a.m. at the Queen's Park, Savannah. This event, it is a people's event. This event is an event to allow you to grow your fortitude. It is an event to prepare you to stand in defense of Trinidad and Tobago. And to stand, we must. How much more would you, as a people, prepare to suffer in these conditions? A condition where no longer you see your father as the man in the home. A condition in some cases where you wife, you have to do things that you would not normally do in order to provide a meal. Listen. People, what is happening? It is real. This is a situation that is real, a situation that is calling for your urgent attention, a situation where you must stand in defense of your family. This is a situation where you cannot allow this government to continue along the lines that it is going. This is a situation that you have to stand and defend your life. This is a situation where you have to defend against this dictatorial behavior by the Prime Minister of this country. This is a situation where you have to stand and defend against the pilfering of the public purse. And that is too much of a big word for you who are talking to. You have to stand and defend the thievery that is taking place with your public money. You understand and defend the wickedness that this government continues to perpetrate against you. You understand and defend, ladies and gentlemen. Stand and defend your family. This Keith Rowley government cares nothing about you. This Keith Rowley government take away your employment. This Keith Rowley government took away your laptops. This Skid Rowley government took away your textbook. This Skid Rowley government took away your school feeding program. This Skid Rowley government took away your maxi taxi transport to school. This Skid Rowley government intends to take away your livelihood, bringing you as paupers in this country. OWTU, where are you? Where are you, OWTU? Where are you, Phaeton? Where are you, communication workers? Where are you, tutor? Where is the support? Where is the unified front against this dictatorial behavior? Don't tell me all you collect too, you know. Don't tell me all you collect too, you know. Where is the unified front to defend democracy? Where is the unified front to stand for democracy? Where is the unified front to fight against dictatorship? Where is the unified front to defend your workers? Wasa, your turn coming. T and Tech, your turn coming. Listen, this government will stop as nothing. And I'm saying to you today that I am urgently waiting to see African and Indian unite to save this country from the wretched dictatorial behavior of this PNM government. I am waiting to see when we will stand in unity to defend our country against nepotism. I am waiting to see when we will stand together and walk the streets of Trinidad and Tobago and say enough is enough. I am waiting to see that day, ladies and gentlemen, where we will stand and fight together. We will cry together and we will celebrate together when we overcome this type of dictatorial government that is in power, bringing to the country a government of unity, a government who cares, a government who will build, a government who have demonstrated, a government who have done so much for this country under the leader Kamla Persad Bissessa. I don't care about who. I'm glad I remember. I know when I wind up, you know, but I'm glad I remember. I don't care about who feel that Kamla should go. I say it already. I want to say it again. Listen me good. Do not call Victor Roberts. Do not call Victor Roberts about any discussion relating to Kamla Persad Bissessa. Call me to tell me what we could do to carry this country forward and to move it out of the hands of this wicked government. But don't call me to tell me that you supporting the UNC only when Kamla gone. Well, let me tell you that. You better go. You better go. Don't call me for them hogwash. Me have time to waste. Me have time for dotishness, you know. When all you call me and tell me what strategy we could come together with to move this dictatorial face from governance. Call me and tell me about that. I don't care about what problem you have with Kamla. I don't care about when Kamla was in power, what you were supposed to get and you ain't get. I don't care about that. Because it tells me that you are selfish, you are greedy, you're taught in feelings, you want more than what you get. Boy, look, don't call me to waste my time. I don't have time to waste time. People, I don't have time to waste time. Don't call me to talk stupidness at all. My ears ain't had time to listen foolishness. Come and tell me what we have to do to move this wickedness so happening to we. When it's time for election in the UNC, put your hat in the ring. Put your hat in the ring when it's time for the UNC internal election. That is what you have to do. But don't call me and feel it's any shortcut for me to help your cut. Because I will cut a track straight up to the precipice and tell you jump it as sponge, only for you to realize that it has spear. So don't call me and talk that stupidness. I don't have time with that. Election for the internal UNC election. Put all your hat in the ring. All who feel and who ain't feel, put all your hat in the ring and fight the battle. And if all you win, you have my support. Whoever is the leader of the UNC, have my support. But don't call me for nothing else. Me have time with that. Right? I hope I put that to rest. Because I will start to embarrass you know. Anytime you call me again to tell me any dotishness about UNC, but we go this and let Kamala go and all that hogwash, not Victor or what. It have people ears who can talk that way, who want to entertain that, go and talk that with them. Don't talk that with me. Me have time for that. I'm talking about everybody. They are message to everybody. Don't waste your time to call me to tell me nothing about that, because I don't have time with that. It have a process. It have a process to follow, and when that time reach, we follow the process. Whoever victorious, that is the leader, and that is how it will be with Victor Roberts. Don't call me for no shortcut. Any shortcut I know about is to see how fast I could reach home. Well, I don't have to study that tonight because I could figure on. Right? So I hope that rests. I hope that settles that matter. So ladies and gentlemen, get ready for tomorrow, please God, the UNC virtual meeting. Get ready to hear Kongsla. Give me the Kongsla name small. What's the Kongsla? Diane Bishop. Get ready to hear Rudy Endarsing. Get ready to hear the man himself, the tiger, Rudal Munilal. Get ready to hear yours truly, and get ready to hear the giant of a lady, the honorable political leader who have my support. Be prepared. Tune in 7:30 tomorrow, please God, sharp, and hear the climaxing of the honorable political leader in relation to the virtual report. Stay blessed, stay safe. I out.
Let us stand together.
If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we got to try.
Victorize and save Trinidad and Tobago. For far too long we have been exploited. For far too long we have been neglected. The time has come where we must stand united in order to save our country. Yes, my brothers and my sisters.
Yeah, victorize. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we got to try. Victorize. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we got to try.
And let us fight to defend our democracy in this country.